everyone, today I will explain you graphing linear functions using the slope and the y-intercept. Remember, before to start with this topic, you have to identify the slope and the y-intercept, and if you don't know how to identify, you can see the video about slope and y-intercept, that is the link in the description. First, you have to identify that the way or the formula that we're going to have a linear function is y equal mx plus b. The m is the slope and the y-intercept is the letter b. So we are going to have the rise and the run that's representing, and basically the slope means the change between the y-axis and the x-axis. The x-axis always we are going to move to the right, and the y-axis is going to be up if the slope is positive. It's going to be down if it's negative, because remember we have negative, positive, 0 and undefined slope. So here we have this function that is y equals 2x minus 1, and first you need to identify the slope. The slope is 2, but remember we write as a fraction because we need the run. So it's going to be 2 over 1, and the y-intercept is going to be negative 1. Then you have to start to representing in the coordinate plane with the y-axis. So first you are going to write the number 1, or you are going to plot this number negative 1 here in this position. So negative 1 is the first step, and then in the negative, you are going to do the movement from x and y. In this case, the slope is positive, so we are going to move to up in the y-axis. First, we have to move the 1 unit, so it's here, and then you are going to move 2 units up, so 1 and 2. And here we are going to plot the second value, so it's going to be, or it is the second point. And now we have the 2 points, and this one you have to connect them. How are you going to connect them? With a line. So you have to do this like this. So it's gonna be here. You use a line to connect them, and we are going to have the linear function for this specific function. Now in the second one, in this one, remember the first step is to identify the slope. The slope in this case is negative 3 over 2. And the y-axis, or it's the letter b, we are going to have positive 3. First, remember, we have in this case negative 3 over 2 because we take the coefficient with x. In this case, as you can see, the slope is going to be down because 3 is negative, and 2 we are going to move to the right. So first we are going to locate it, we are going to plot the number 3 on the coordinate plane. Remember, it's the y-axis. So you are going to plot this 3 here and the y-axis, so which is, we are going to locate here because this is the position for the y-axis. That means this is what the y-intercept, so you are going to plot in the y-axis. Then you have to do the movement, and remember, it's always to the right, the denominator, or it's the x value. So we are going to move 1, 2 units, and then this is 3, but it's negative, the slope is negative, so we are going to move to down. So we are going to do like this, 1, 2, and 3 units. Remember, you have to count the units, and then you are going to plot the second value, or it's this position that we're going to have in positive 2. Finally, you are going to join them, or it's this and this. And as you can see, this slope, this graph is going to be decreasing because it's a negative slope. So this is going to be decreasing. You join this one, and we're going to have the graph for this function. Remember, a function basically it's a linear, or it's a line representing in the coordinate plane. Finally, I have this example that it's y plus 5x equals to 4. Remember, first you need to isolate this function for y. So this is positive 5, we are going to move to negative 5, and the positive 4 we keep in the same place, so we stay with positive value. Then you are going to locate first you need to identify what is the slope and what is the y-intercept. In this case, the slope is -5, but remember we add 1 because we have to leave as a fraction or as a rational number, and then b is equals to +4. So the b, remember, is the y-intercept, so it's in the y-axis. So this value we are going to represent in the y-axis. So we are going to count 1, 2, 3, and 4. So here we have the intersection for the y-axis, or it's a 4. Then, since this position, you are going to move 1 unit, remember, because it's in the x. Remember, it's y over x. So we are going to move 1 unit here, and then you are going to move 1 unit here, and then this is negative slope, so we are going to go down in the y-axis. So we are going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and finally we have 5. So n is going to be in this position. Finally, you have your second point, and then you have to join them with a line. So we are going to use this one, and we are going to have like this. Okay, so this is going to be our line for this function. Okay, this is going to be the line for this function. So we have it here, and we already graphed this function with the slope and the y-intercept. Remember, the x value always go to the left, to the right, and the numerator, or let's say the value for y that we have here, the value for y, it's going to be up or down. If the slope is positive, we go up. If the slope is negative, we go down. Remember, it's important to identify the slope and the y-intercept, and always we need to start with the y-intercept, and then we are going to do the movement or the motion in the graph to the right, and then down if it's negative, up if it's positive.